All right, Pack, welcome back into another video here on the Dividend Doggo Show on YouTube, and I'm bringing you in for the weekly portfolio review. This is going over my M1 Finance Dividend Stock Portfolio. This is meant to bridge the gap toward early retirement. The goal of this portfolio is to earn about $80,000 a year in passive dividend income, or as passive as it can be. And we're going to look at the brief overview here. This is the all-time snapshot. This is how much money the portfolio has made in just over about 3.5 years or so. So this portfolio was started in August of 2019. And we have made $147,000 in market gains and about $61,000 in dividend income. And I absolutely love keeping an eye on the overall earned dividends, because it just continues to grow and grow every month, and it's a phenomenal metric for me to just watch, because I know that money is just rolling into the portfolio and rolling right into buying more stocks in the portfolio. So let's dive in and see how the week did for the overall market returns and the sectors in the portfolio. Let's see here. On the 1 week, it looks like we were up about 1%, with a little bit of that being dividends, $62.99 in dividends. And then we've got $5,670 in market gains. So overall, it looks like the market had a pretty good week, other than healthcare. So let's go break down each one of these sectors real quick, and then we'll take a look at what I was buying for the week. So in the finance portfolio overall, most everything was in the green except for T. Rowe Price. JP Morgan was up 3.88. That's pretty wild. Citigroup was only up about 1.5%. Bank of America was up 4.73%, and Bank of OZK was up 3.92%. So overall, pretty good week for the finance sector. I'm pretty happy with that. Then we have the Common Money Pie. This is Berkshire Hathaway and SCHD. Berkshire Hathaway doesn't pay a dividend, but I love having it in the portfolio. It's kind of like one of those metric stocks that I love to own. I just love owning the conglomerate of different companies that Berkshire has. So overall, pretty decent week. Berkshire Hathaway was down just barely a smidge, and SCHD was in the green. So overall, Common Money looking pretty good for the week. Then we have the consumer pie, where we have a couple of things in the red. We're almost 50-50 with stocks in the red versus the green. Altria down about 1.7%, not horrible. Then we've got HD, Coca-Cola, Costco, Lowe's, Target, and Pepsi. We've had all of these in the portfolio for quite some time, and this is going to bring me to the weekly buy this week. If you've been watching for quite a while, you'll know that I have added a little bit to a few of the stocks here in this portfolio, but Lowe's was my buy for the week at just over $1,000. This was allowed me to buy, 5.1 shares? 5.0276 shares of Lowe's. And I'm going to likely continue to add a little bit to these positions as I go. But then the other one I bought for the week was Bank of OZK. Its dividend came in at $98.06. So I want to grow this dividend a little bit higher for Bank of OZK. So I reinvested those dividends. This picked up, I believe 2.25 extra shares of Bank of OZK. So that's pretty wild. Some dividend work in there, some added contribution work. This brings our total Lowe's position to 59.98 shares, so just shy of 60 shares of Lowe's. And I'm going to continue to likely buy a few shares. You can see that this is actually below my average share price by about $8. So I actually am going to likely continue to pick up a few shares here and there of Lowe's throughout the year. We'll see if it kind of stays where it's at, or if it continues to drop a little bit. I'm happy to add a little bit to that position. So healthcare, this was the big red one this week. AbbVie had a pretty red week, down 2.2%. This is a position that was much higher over the course of last year. I sold off a pretty massive chunk of this position. I initially invested about $86,000, I believe. I'm going to give you the overall view of this so that you can see kind of what it looks like. But as you can see, my share price was about $80 and it's currently $146. So overall, this position has done very good for me, but they've definitely got some interesting stuff going on throughout this year with the F.I.R.E patent going down, and we'll see kind of what the transition and the free cash flow changes that occurred to the company because of that. So this is going to be one of those where I love this position. I'm really glad that I trimmed it down some at really highs. I think it was like 156 or something like that, maybe even higher than that when I trimmed the position down some. But as you can see, I've had it in the portfolio since the beginning. I added a lot of money to this position in April of 2020. This is when like the market was crashing. I was looking at videos on this stock and I loved the amount of money that they had rolling in. So I went ahead and dropped a bunch of money into this. You can see it goes from about 22,000 to about 70,000 in the position. And then I continued to bump it up a little bit into the 80K range here up to about 100K by June of 2020. And I continued to hold this, and it peaked right here. What is this, about April 2022? This would have been the opportune moment there to have sold about April 8th or so. The position was $182,000. That's pretty large for a single stock in my portfolio. And I wanted to work on a new real estate project here. So we are trimming it down. It went from about, 153 down to about 61,000. Right now it's at about 65. So I just wanted to showcase that there are times when you do want to take a look at things, reevaluate if you've got other investments that you can invest that money into to make you a great return. It's not always a bad idea to reevaluate and remove some of your risk with those positions. So I went ahead and removed all of my initial investment from that. So basically I'm just playing with house money and the gains on that particular position now. So utilities, let's go back to the 1 week view here. Utilities was up about 3% for the week. Vistra has been bouncing around like crazy for the past couple weeks. That's just kind of how it does. That's ever since I bought the stock, it just kind of bounces around. Then we've got monthly dividend stocks. You can see BST was up about 6% for the week. That's pretty wild. Overall, the position was up $497. This is one that I've been contributing and rebuying the monthly dividend as it comes in. I'm just going to continue to do that for that position. And then for the week here, we have the industrial and railroads positions. Louisiana Pacific Corp was up 7.2% for the week, and UNP was down about 3% for the week. I'm likely going to try to pick up a few more shares of UNP over the next couple weeks, especially if it's coming down. I absolutely love being able to buy that at a little bit cheaper price. It's maybe not for everyone, but I am certainly enjoying adding a little bit to that position. So overall, that's how the portfolio looks for the week. Let me know down below in the comments if you are buying anything this week. I hope that all of you are buying at least every 2 weeks when you get paid, and contributing to your portfolios in some way, shape, or form to build up some type of security for yourself and your loved ones. This portfolio, I'm hoping, will get to about $25,000 in dividend income per year by the end of this year. That means that I've got a fair chunk of money to invest into the portfolio to get it to that position. We're about 3,500 or so off of that mark. So I'm going to be really curious to see what 2023 has to bring for us. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. We are crossing over, I believe it's 4,000 subs for the channel. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you. And if you're new to the channel, if this video is what brought you in, this income is from real estate holdings, and I just roll the money in as we get it. We live off of one income, my wife and I. We try to make sure that we save a good chunk of the money from her income, and we invest all of mine. And that's how we've been doing things for the past 7 or 8 years. And we just try to invest as much as we can while living, I wouldn't call it a minimalist lifestyle because we have fairly high expenses, but we definitely don't buy a lot of flashy things. We try to invest and save our money and be wise about it. And that's just kind of how our future is gonna go. We're just gonna continue to try to save where we can and invest what we can. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and have a fantastic weekend.